Hi, it's Steve from bestbetfairfootballtrader.com. Just another quick video today. I'm going to show you a correct score trade in the West Ham v Cardiff playoff semi-final in the Championship. It's the second semi-final being played at Upton Park tonight. Kicks off in about 12 minutes time. As you can see, I've placed several bets into the market already, giving myself a £56 liability. And you know, I mean, I've backed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different sort of scores there. Not quite a equal hedge in all of the, all the scores, but it's not really important. You don't have to be totally anal, with your trading to get everything to the penny. I've got £109 there on the 0-3 to Cardiff. Let's just say Cardiff, grab an early goal or a couple of early goals. Well, I'll be able to, leverage that £109 there, and start eating into my liability on the sort of the non-backed scores. So anyway, I'll pause this for now so you can see where my opening position is, and hopefully once the game kicks off there'll be some early goals, and I'll be able to stay away from these 0-1, 0-2 and the 1-0 and 2 1s, and be able to record a profitable trade for everybody. So I'll pause it now and I'll be back once the match is in action. Thanks very much. Hi and welcome back. West Ham have just taken the lead in this match, or at least that's what my live score ticker said, although the Betfair site says something else. Just wait for the scores to settle. There we go. So 1-0 to West Ham, and I will now see if there's any sort of room to manoeuvre within the market to lay off a bit of that £56 liability. So just need the prices to settle a little bit. I'll just keep refreshing it. So you can see the scores that I bet on pre-game. I'm just seeing what the odds are like for some of these to lay them off. So we've got 2-0 at 9.2. 2-0's now available. Yeah, I didn't think it'd be too much less because it's such an early goal. Obviously expect West Ham to maybe get 3 or 4. Three threes not really settled yet. I mean, if we could lay out at 60 from the initial 80 that we had, that wouldn't be too bad. So let's just play around with a couple of figures in there. Actually no, I only had a small stake on there. Just have to bear with me while I do this. Talking and doing this at the same time can be can be tricky. Maybe just for a dumb nuts like me. Right. 1-3, 2-0, 2-3. You can see I'm looking at laying off some of the liability from the anyone quoted. I don't actually believe that this game will finish up with sort of 4 goals for one side or the other. So that's what I'm basing this on. So I'm happy to remove that liability altogether. So I'll lay off here at, I'll go 4.9. I'll lay off £17.50. Try and get that bet through. What I'm also going to look at doing, so that would bring me, the liability down from £56 to £38.50. Which is a sort of, well, it's decreasing it by almost a third. Hopefully wait for that to go through. I think it has, but Betfair's not quite caught up. Just need Betfair to, catch up here. Right, okay, so you can see on any unquoted, only 55p profit, fine. Some of the other scores, I may well enter the market now for 3-0 to West Ham. Sort of increased my liability again. If we look at the 1-2, so I've got the 1-3. So that's drifted out. That's no good to us. The 2-0, 9.2, not really. 6.8. Nothing to play with too much. The 2-3, nothing to play with there. 3-1, a little bit of room for manoeuvre. I think what we'll take is, we'll take the 9.2 available on a 3-0 win. I'm just looking to place a stake in there. So I'm going to back 3-0 to West Ham, and I might not get the 9.2 now, so just have to bear with me on that one. This could be a very lengthy video, so I do apologise, but hopefully there's a profit at the end of it, and you can sort of see my thought process. So I put the bets on pre-game, some scores that I thought would give me an opportunity to trade as and when goals were scored throughout the match. I'd given myself insurance on 0-0. Basically what I'd have done there, if it had got to half time at 0-0, which is quite feasible, I would have looked to lay off, depending if it looked like a goal was obviously going to be scored, I would have looked to lay off any profits I'd made just from trading that particular scoreline. As it was, West Ham got an early goal. Okay, so we can see that my liability of those two sort of adjustments has changed from £56 to £50 on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of, well, actually, ignore those, on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scores, and any unquoted, I've got a liability of about £11. So I'm hoping for another goal, preferably for West Ham. That will then give me the opportunity to, get rid of most of my liability. So I'll be back shortly. And West Ham have taken a 2-0 lead at the about 42-43 minute mark, and I'm just looking at laying off some of those bets there. As you can see, I've tried to lay off 3-1 at 7.8, 3-0 at 5.28, or at least that's what it's matched me at. 2-0 at 5.6, and the one that's not been matched yet is laying off 3-2 at 25-1. Now you can see that my overall liability is now £15, but I will only hit the £15. I'll only lose the £15 if the score finishes 2-1 or 2-2. I'm now also in profit on the any unquoted. If the 3-2 bet gets matched, how many? I did it at £2.50. So I can just do a what if while we're waiting. So if you can see, if it does get matched, the liability will go down to £12.50, but bringing the profit down on the 3-2 to £44. So we'll leave it for a while, hopefully one of these will get matched, and I'll be back shortly. Hello, back again. I'm just going to try and get a couple of extra bets in the market actually, just to make sure I've not really got any liability on any scores. So I've just tried to put £4 on the 2-1 at odds of 9, so part of that £53 waiting to be matched is mine. On the 2-2 I don't really want to be placing that much, so as you can see I've just tried to put £2 at 1,000, odds of 1,000 to 1. I'll then go in there and change that to, I'd say, £3.25, just update that. Click continue. You see we've got two separate bets, £2, so I'm going to cancel the £2 bet, leaves me with a stake of £1.25. I'll just change the odds on that. We'll take the 22 that are available, click update, it should get matched shortly. Okay, and as you can see, I'm now in a no-lose position. So the worst case scenario at the moment is to win £7.25p for 2-2. Well, that is sort of highly unlikely. I'm generally looking at an 18 or £32 result. I'd say sort of a 3-0 or 3-1 is probably the most likely outcome here. So I'm happy with the sort of the 30, 28, 50, 35 and 38 there. So we'll leave this match to run, and we'll come back later on either when there's a goal score or the final whistle. Cheers. West Ham have gone 3-0 up, as you can see. I'm just about to lay off at £10 at I'll do it at 1.09 on the 3-0 score line. So it'll only knock 90p off the profit, but it'll add £10 on just in case Cardiff nick a late equaliser, however unlikely. I mean, the final whistle might even go as I'm doing this, to be fair. Okay, so that's gone through. Not long left to go in the game, so I've got a guaranteed profit of just over £34 if it stays 3-0. If Cardiff managed to nick one, it's £38 there, and if West Ham managed to get another one, I've got £31. So I've got a minimum of £31. Hopefully this has given you a little bit of insight into how to trade the correct scores market. The video wasn't quite as slick as I was hoping, but nevertheless moved from a £56 liability at the beginning, so like I say, to a guaranteed profit of just over £30 no matter what the result. So it's a decent return on the investment, and to be honest, these sort of correct scores trading is it's pretty common, pretty easy to make a decent profit. So have a go, use small stakes or use something like the Geeks toy, and you can play around with it. I think they have a live training mode, so you can don't even use real money if you don't want, just while you get used to the mechanics of it all. So the match is finished 3-0 to West Ham. It's full time. My profit £34.45. Thanks for watching, and please visit bestbetfairfootballtrader.com for more hints, tips, videos, reviews and all the rest of it. Take care and good luck with your betting. Cheers.